Hey guys, this is just a quick video to talk about the new combat system coming in the Newfound Courage re-release on June 24. So in the original release of Newfound Courage, we had really diverse gameplay, so plenty of challenges, puzzles, and tasks. However, the lack of direct conflict made it a little bit more difficult to tell a serious and compelling high fantasy story, at least the way we wanted to. As a result, in the original Newfound Courage release, a lot of the fantasy story was actually toned down, but since then, something very important has happened. I learned to code. Dramatic, I know. So yeah, in the original Newfound Courage, it was very light on code. We used a lot of systems that enabled us to build the game without code, because writing any code was seriously beyond my capability. But now that I can code, I use that power to build a combat system. And while I figured it would pretty much immediately become the primary gameplay loop for Newfound Courage, we didn't really want it to take over completely. At its core, Newfound Courage is about the story. All the gameplay we implement is there to serve the story and to make the story more compelling. So that was very important to me. The fact that I didn't want the combat to completely drown out the rest of the game. This means that the encounters in Newfound Courage are actually pretty interesting, if only because they occur strictly to serve the story. So it's not like a roguelite where you're constantly battling waves of enemies. Enemies come out when the story needs them to come out, and that's about it. But yeah, basically it means that the combat is peppered throughout the story in a much more narrative-driven way than what's typical in any action RPG I've ever played. So how does the combat actually work? Well, Alex is something called a Mechamancer. And in his Mechamancer tool belt, he has 5 abilities. First, he can summon the Mecha Blade, which is a close range attack. He can also shoot a blast of flux, or a wave of flux, to attack enemies at a distance. He can build 3 magnet sendings, which act as distractions and draw enemies away from Alex and they take a few hits before they die. He can teleport a short distance, and he can also heal himself by eating croissants, which are his favorite food, and I believe they're all baked by Nora lovingly. So throughout the game, Alex will be able to choose from 6 different talent upgrades to enhance those abilities. So some of those include multitudes of magnets, and that increases the speed in which Alex can summon those magnet sendings. There's also critical chaos, which greatly enhances the chance of a critical hit. I always hate talents where you get a critical hit boost and it's vague and you can never really tell if it even did anything. That's not going to be the case for this talent, I can tell you that much. And then there's also Vampiric Blade, which gives Alex's Mecha Blade a lifesteal effect, as well as 3 others, which I'm not going to mention in this video. You'll be able to unlock any talent at any moment upgrades are offered. You'll also be given all of Alex's abilities at once. We didn't really feel like it would be that much fun to go through and unlock these abilities one at a time. You're given them all at once, and you're given a tutorial area where you can practice before you're launched straight into combat. Yeah, so the talents are unlocked at key story moments. So again, serving that story, Alex is getting stronger the longer he fights. But importantly, there's no grinding EXP. There's no wasted combat, really. You do the combat you need to do to have Alex complete the story, but you do no more. So there's no grinding at all. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see the talents or the builds that people make. In the core game, you'll get 3 talents that you can allocate. In the DLC, you'll get a respec at the beginning, and then you'll be able to select 4 talents. Yeah, so super excited to see the sorts of builds that people come up with. Now, one last note I want to discuss before I end this video is on difficulty modes. So there's going to be 4 difficulty modes in Newfound Courage Forever Proud. You've got Classic, which is what I would play it on personally. A fairly, balanced, medium difficulty level game, Classic. We have all played games with that difficulty setting before. Then there's Harder, which is like Classic, but just a smidge harder. Enemies hit a smidge harder. They go a bit faster. And then there's Pointlessly Hard, and this is inspired by Elden Ring, which I beat for the record, but enemies are much faster and hit way harder in this difficulty level. I don't think it would be impossible to beat it, but I do think it would be very frustrating. So I personally wouldn't play in that difficulty mode, but if that's your thing, then you've got that option. And finally, the last mode is Peace Mode. And this mode was very important to me because the original Newfound Courage was a non-combat game. And I wanted people to still have that option while still being able to kind of feel the epicness of the battles. So if you enable Peace Mode, Alex ceases to take damage, and you're able to kill enemies at your leisure or destroy enemies at your leisure. So yeah, that's it. That's the combat system for Newfound Courage. Oh, one thing I forgot. Alex does get gradually more powerful throughout the game. So after each encounter, he gets slightly more powerful. But more importantly, in my opinion, every time you die, Alex gets more powerful. So this, I'm hoping, will stop anyone from getting overly stuck on any particular combat engagement. It's something that I hate. Maybe it's the consequence of being a busy grown-up, but I hate getting stuck and feeling like I'm not progressing on an engagement. In Newfound Courage Forever Proud, every time you die, Alex gets slightly stronger. So at worst, you're only ever going to be a couple of deaths away from completing any encounter if you are struggling on it. So yeah, that's it. That's the combat system in Newfound Courage Forever Proud. I really hope you all enjoy it. I'm so excited to see the builds you make, and yeah, let me know what you think.